We about to beat the Rams. We about to beat the Rams. Hey, we about to beat the Rams. Hey, we about to beat the Rams. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Breezy. It's your girl Peachy. And we're about to take on the Los Angeles Lambs. Yes, you heard it right here on Sizzl'N Sunday. Before we do that, we're going to get to the show right after this, after you check this out. What's good? You know, it's time. Yes, sir. It's your boy, Breezy. You have all been waiting from this long time hiatus. You're now tuned into the one they call the greatest. East side, west side, we reppin' you all. We cook a little food and talk a little ball. Have a drink your way, short or tall. Dessert is a must, it better be on call. It's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Who wants to challenge the king named Breezy? Right here every week is a Monday. Tune in to Sit Sizzl'N Sunday. Sit Sizzl'N Sunday. Tune in to Sit Sizzl'N Sundays. Hey, 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 hey. Get that foghorn going. We about to hear it. Get that foghorn going. We about to hear it. What's going on, everybody? It's your duel, the dopest hostesses and the mostesses. It's your boy Breezy. I got the one and only the Queen Peachy B in the building. Mo should be jumping in shortly, we hope, because we don't have any drinks prepared. But if not, I got some joints in the stash over here, Peach. We got to get to. Ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for tuning in to Sit Sizzl'N Sundays. We had some setbacks this week. Matter of fact, Peachy, this is the week, actually 1 week of this to this day, where we actually got set back. The channel got hacked, all that good stuff. But we got the hacker on up out of here. He's been currently blocked. He's probably going to try to come in under a different name. So just beware out there. I don't have too many moderators out there. Peachy, you're a moderator. Miss Davey, I'm trying to make you a moderator. So I'm going to try to see if I could get you in there now to moderate since you're watching as well. As Fernando, I would like to make you a moderator too. You are one that watches the show all the time. You can help man this chat. Look, Peachy, we're in LA, we're in Inglewood, and we're about to take on the Rams. We're gonna get to some 49ers news. I don't have any like inactives yet, and we're gonna go through the injury report as of right now. So we'll get that. But Peachy, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, just like you just said. 49ers are in Inglewood, up to no good, because I believe that we are going to take down the Rams today.
I love it.
And it's just going to continue. And it's by the end of the day that we're going to be 8-0 against them in the regular season.
Regular season. Jimmy Garoppolo will be 8-0.
Sorry. Jimmy Garoppolo will be 8-0 by the end of the day in the regular season.
Correct. So I'm not sure if the actives and the inactives are out, but we know Deebo is going to be inactive. We're going to go through the injury. He's on the injury. He's not playing. So we have the outs, but we're just trying to see which guys are going to be active. They did call up a couple of guys from the practice squad. I think Willie Snead, Tay Martin, and I think there was another wide receiver. So there's a possibility not only that Deebo might be inactive. Well, Deebo will be out for today, but Jawan Jennings might be inactive because he was listed questionable. So we got to talk about that. But before we do that, let's get through the formalities of the show. We'll get through them as quickly as possible. Make sure you guys that are here, you like, you comment, and you subscribe. Hit the thumbs up right now while you're watching. Don't forget to leave a little comment in the comment section. Everybody that's in the chat right now, shout out to you guys. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All right. Make sure you guys do that. If you can follow us on Twitter at Wayne Breezy at what? Oh, Mo's changed his name, didn't he? No, I don't know. I know he changed his name on Instagram, I believe, to Mo's Knows.
I believe that he said that all of them are now like that they're what Mo's knows without anything.
Are they Mo's Knows? He came in yesterday. I could have swore I made the changes and then boom. But anyway, yeah, make sure you follow us on Twitter. Right. All right. I'll make sure you get the correct Twitter handles and all that good stuff. There's our group. We got the poll going on right now in the Nitty Gritty Niners group. The poll is going on live. It's live right now. Put your score predictions inside that poll. You're going to want to go to facebook.com, search for Nitty Gritty Niners. Go ahead and go to the group. If you're not already in the group, make sure you fill out the questions. And then Miss Debbie, if she approves it, you'll be in the group. It's a private group, so you don't got to worry about such certain things. Also, you want to make sure you get in because we're doing a giveaway. It's a person that can get the right score, for today. All right. So PG, I'm just curious, what's your score prediction for Sunday?
Oh
Wait
crap.
for today.
uh let's see. Wow.
So that means Peachy didn't put her score prediction in.
Nope.
See,
That means I did not put my score
see,
prediction in. That's right.
see. That
Peachy
and that
was a bad girl. She did
no,
not
you
put
just
her score prediction in.
nah, not a bad girl. You just been all over the place,
Right.
making sure we get these accounts secured, moving
Yeah.
forward.
You know, so I did
I don't have
not
to do that.
yeah, I don't know. I'll talk about it at the end of the show. Maybe
All right,
I'll know by then because I really don't know now.
all right, all
I
right.
don't,
There it is.
but the one thing that I did want to say while we're going through the formalities, guys, there is a giveaway that is going around for 1K giveaway. I have one that is through Friday, November 4th, that is going around. And all you have to do is unsubscribe to the hacker, which is the old Wayne Breezy one that you were subscribed to, and resubscribe to the new. And all you have to do is just show in the Twitter comments that you have done both. Once you do both, then you will be entered into that giveaway. That giveaway prize is a jersey of your choice. And what that means is the player of your choice, not a personal one. Peachy's not rich. I don't have $500 so I can buy you a jersey. But I will get you a jersey of the player of your choice that is available on Fanatics or 49ers shop or whatever. But so be sure and do that. We're trying to get our subscribers back up. We had just reached 5K. So we've been mentally going through a lot, knowing that we have to kind of start from scratch and build that back up. So you guys can really help us by spreading the word, retweeting those giveaway tweets. There's also other people who are also doing giveaways for the 1K, but those expire really soon. So you guys need to pay attention, make sure you retweet and follow those as well. So a lot of fun stuff out there, but first we have to get to 1K and we're still a ways away from it. So make sure that you do that and make sure that you watch all the videos that show up on there. We need the viewing hours because like I said, we're basically starting from the bottom up. So we really need you guys' help. We really appreciate it.
All right, guys. And yeah, we will truly appreciate you guys helping us rebuild the Wayne Breezy channel and things like that. It definitely is going through a rebuild, a restart, reboot, we're just starting all over. So shout out to everybody right there. Round of applause to everyone that's out there that's been helping us getting everything going and all that type of stuff, man. We truly appreciate you. This is my wrong setup. So I was like, yo, why are these buttons all over the place? Now I know. There we go. There we go. So round of applause to everybody out there. Hey, I tell you what, our brother Steve he's doing it up for the kickoff. So he said if you could get to the 1200, he's giving away something on his personal stash, signed, autographed, things like that. So a lot of people, thank y'all all for helping us rebuild this channel and doing these special giveaways. We got to get the faithful here. I don't know what else to do other than to create the content and do the stuff for you guys.
Right.
But let's get to some 49er talk.
Gotcha.
We talked about the teams, the for the 49ers. These are the players that are officially going to be out. And like I said, there are a couple of people on. All right, there are a couple of people on the actual question mark. All right, so Eric Armstead is out, Dre Greenlaw is out. We're going to talk about each individual and how detrimental they're going to be to the team, Peachy, with these four players, being out. Four newer players, I would say.
Yeah.
To be out. So we got Eric Armstead, Dre Greenlaw, Kyle Juszczyk, Deebo Samuel. Let's talk about that. Eric Armstead. Let's start with Eric Armstead, Peachy. So Eric Armstead has been out for several weeks.
Yeah.
And for some reason, the team can't figure out how to get right in the middle.
Right.
with the rush defense. They're also not getting the pressures that Eric Armstead provides
Right.
from the rush defense. So what are your thoughts, man? Like, how do you feel like this team is going to play against a non-running Rams team? So they don't really technically run the ball. So this might be a good week to have Eric Armstead out. But I'm asking you, what are your thoughts about Eric Armstead being out again? Do you think it's more significant? And should they look to put Eric Armstead on the IR?
So I do feel like that Armstead is a big deal because I feel like that teams have been taking advantage of the fact that we are vulnerable. Oh my goodness, in the middle like that they have been striking us like that. You know, somebody said this week that the Rams, I don't know if it was McVay or somebody said that they believe that the Chiefs provided a blueprint as to how to attack us and to come at us now. Maybe because of that vulnerability that they have, the Rams may try to run the ball a little bit more than they usually run the ball. Whenever you have a weakness, and a great coach like McVay, I mean, he may figure, a way to do that. So we definitely have to watch out for that. Greenlaw is who I was like, oh man, because that's, definitely didn't want to lose one of our linebackers, especially not Greenlaw. So that one was to me the one that was more upsetting.
Okay.
Was Greenlaw, yeah.
Yeah, I mean the Greenlaw one. I mean, you saw last week once Greenlaw left the game, the defense kind of just went kaput. So yeah, like Greenlaw. So I'm questioning to figure out who's going to start in place for Greenlaw,
right?
Or do the 49ers not play a lot of base and they play a lot of nickel? And I think in this particular game, what I'm starting to kind of figure out in this for the 49ers, like they're playing to their matchups. The Rams don't run the ball well. They like Cam Akers is their guy. Darrell Henderson is just kind of like an up the middle guy. You can figure out ways to stop Darrell Henderson. You see Lake City, he's talking about Ty McGill. They bring him up from the practice squad. That's a big guy that can soak up some stuff in the hole to prevent Darrell from getting up in the middle or whatnot. So that's good for the 49ers, but they're going to play to the Rams' strength, which is their passing game. So you're going to see a lot of nickel. All right. So a lot of people were saying that Greenlaw is going to be missed, but he wasn't the coverage linebacker. He was more of, the weak side linebacker? So you feel like Azeez Al-Shaair is better, maybe not Azeez Al-Shaair, DFF, who had a bad game last week, he may be a little bit better in this particular game because he's not going to be asked to run stuff a lot or fill a lot of holes. He's going to be asked to cover a lot. I think the 49ers are going to be in nickel a lot, meaning Jimmy Ward is going to be on the field, right? And I said his name 3 times because he's probably going to be out the field the majority of the time if they stay nickel. And again, it all depends on the formations that the Rams come out or the packages that they come out. They come out 3 wide, you're in nickel. If they come out with 2 wide receivers, you're in base. See what I'm saying? Because the 3 wide receivers, you want that extra DB out on the field to cover that 3rd wide receiver, whether they line up in the slot or whatnot. So it's going to be interesting. Now, Slick 68 says, I would like to see Burks out there instead of Flanagan Fowles. Listen, Burks and what's his name? Curtis Robinson. Those guys are middle linebackers. So I'm not sure if we want them on the outside. I think you still roll with DFF. We know we struggled last week, but it's kind of unfortunate we're down to who we're down to. You know what I mean? So what I'm thinking is the 49ers are probably going to come out there in base because I think the Rams are going to come out with 3 wide the majority of the game. And they really only go 1 tight end. So their 1 tight end is Tyler Higbee. Now, they could come out in different formations, and then the 49ers are going to have to adjust. But the Rams aren't a heavy run team. They're just not a heavy run team.
Yeah.
Cam Akers is out. So with Cam Akers being out, you don't have to worry about them being a run team even in the receiving game because that's their receiving back. So I don't know. Like I feel like the 49ers will figure it out. They just got to stop the run up the middle by any means necessary.
Yeah. It's true.
They just got to figure it out, right? Because that's where they're struggling. Like the 49ers are struggling to stop the run, up the middle. And that's what's keeping these drives alive. I think he's going to come out here and Stafford. He's gonna try to throw the ball. And if I'm Matthew Stafford, I'm testing not the run game, which you said is the weakness. In my opinion, Peachy, I think the weakness is in the backfield. All
Mm-hmm.
right. Now, Steve, I don't have him on on their injury report, but he could be hurt. He could be. I didn't see him on their injury report. The only person that I saw out on the Rams injury report was Cam Akers, and they had one questionable guy, and that's Brandon Powell. That was the guy I wanted us to watch last time we played them.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why was he can line up in the backfield like Deebo Samuel. Also, he was their return man. And
Yes.
so if he's out, that's a big bonus for us because now we don't got to focus on their return game. They won't have that dynamic in their special teams department, which we'll get into a little bit later. So I'll go back to those injuries. So Peachy said Greenlaw. I'm gonna go with Deebo Samuel though, Peach. I'm gonna go with Deebo Samuel. I know we are stacked and loaded on the talented with the offense position, but Deebo, in my opinion, I did a show earlier this week. Deebo has mind control over the Rams. He owns the Rams. There's a stat out there saying that the 49ers are have a losing record when Deebo doesn't play. You know what I'm saying? And so if Deebo's not playing, I don't know. But they did add a piece like Christian McCaffrey, Peach. So I feel like Deebo Samuel is going to be the most detrimental because this guy literally owns Jalen Ramsey. He owns everybody they throw at them. So now you're
Yep.
asking Brandon Ayuk, Peachy, to go out there and kind of like not mimic what Deebo does, but at least bring that same mentality, that
Right.
bully ball mentality. And doesn't, I don't think anybody has that mentality. So the 49ers are going to be missing that bully mentality. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah. On offense, Debo's definitely the like just detrimental to missing him. I am hoping that Kyle is going to be able to use Christian McCaffrey the same way, just like you've been saying. Use him as another weapon X, and to use him in place of that. We should have enough out there to be able to for him to be used like that. Enough receivers and everything out there to where Kyle should be able to scheme up some really good things. I mean, there's no reason why this offense should not be coming. Now, is it going to be the same? Of course not, because Deebo just does so much on this offense and brings a dynamic that no one, in the NFL can actually do some of the things that Deebo can do as far as the physicality, the toughness, everything like that. So I'm hoping that, that we're able to mimic some of that.
Yeah,
as much as possible, enough to get this offense going today.
and I believe that like you said, Kyle's gonna have to figure out how to utilize his other weapons, and maybe Deebo not being there will help him mimic, help him create different matchups, different looks, different schemes, or whatever. Because I feel like in the run game, every time Deebo gets out there, they're prepared for it every single
Right.
time. Like every time, like they're prepared. The moment he catches the ball, they're in the backfield. It's like the blocking got worse when Deebo runs the ball this year.
Right.
And it's so weird, right? And so now you're gonna put a real running back out there, and like because Deebo's not a running back, it's a wide receiver. And so we're gonna see. We're
Yep.
gonna see what it gets down to with Deebo missing. I see people out there saying about Juice. Yes, we are missing Juice. Don't get it twisted. But Juice is not much of a threat from an offensive weapon. He could be. He's not utilized much as a threat. The thing you're gonna be missing from Juice more than anything is his lead blocking,
Right.
his ability to go out there and stretch the field, like whether he lines up, he goes into motion, he comes back. So you're going to be missing some of that stuff. But I think personally, Ross Dwelly will spell him and be able to handle some of these blocks really well. What do you think about Ross Dwelly if Dwelly is going to be the guy getting the start at the fullback?
I just feel like that Dwelly should be able to handle that. That should be something. His blocking may not be as good, but I think Dwelly can block enough. He's also going to have Kittle out there too, so it's not just going to be him. So I think that he'll be fine, just as long as he don't have to be out there catching the ball.
Well, Ross Dwelly, in my opinion, got the best damn hands on the team. If they throw him the ball, he usually catches it. So I want Ross Dwelly to get active in the offense. He can catch passes that are all over the field. They just don't throw him the ball anymore.
Well, that's true.
I do
That's
think
a good point.
I do
It's
think
like
Dwelly
he normally just
has
for
been
some
hurt.
reason either doesn't get looked at or
No, I just think he was dealing with that. He got injured
right.
week 1, and then it
Yeah,
was like I
that's
can't remember if
true.
it was a back injury, Peach, or something. And then it
Right.
was like he was utilized. He played in the games injured, but you
Yes.
saw him low on the depth chart. And I'm
Mhm.
wondering if that's what it is. Like, you know what
That's
I'm
true.
saying?
That's a
I'm
good
wondering
point.
if that's what it is.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but I think Ross Dwelly can catch. That's the one thing
Right.
I know.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
he might not
But
have
just
any
like you
yak.
said, he's hurt you.
Yeah, he might not have any yak, but he definitely could catch.
Right. Gotcha.
Definitely. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm trying to get Mariah back as a mod and stuff like that, and we'll figure it out at some point. But oh, we got
So
another TD Price at fullback. I kind of like that.
mhm.
I kind of like that. I don't like it for the whole game, Ronald, but I do like it in certain packages
Right.
because
I like it too.
I'm going to be so glued to the TV because I want to see if Kyle Shanahan, Peachy, comes out in what we call 31 personnel. I can tell you who the one is. The one that will be George Kittle, right? But the three are going to be 3 running backs. Now, if the defense if they got a bunch of if they're a nickel, if they're trying to cover wide receivers and they got the wrong setup on that field from the defensive perspective, ain't not one of them DBs gonna be able to tackle these running backs head on. I want to see 31 personnel for the first time this season, and that's where you could do a running back package like TDP, Jeff Wilson Jr., and CMC, and then you can have them matched up, split out wide,
Right.
behind the backfield, however they want. They could do a wishbone. They could do anything where you got the running back on one running back on the other, one lined up. There's so many things or looks you can give the defense based on a formation like that. And then you got to factor in George Kittle if he goes in motion and he splits out, whatever. I don't know. I just want to see something different. And that's my thing. I feel like with Kyle Shanahan, I'm bored. Like I'm bored watching the 49ers play.
Yeah.
Like get a touchdown and it's kind of boring. We know that they're going to have a script. They're going to drive, blah, 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 blah. And then they score. And then after that, they halt, right?
Yep.
I'm telling you.
Everything just gets stagnant.
They get super
and it doesn't
stagnant.
move.
Wow.
And it's very maddening because it doesn't move. Like it almost like it freezes and it doesn't move forward. It doesn't advance. And that's the thing. Like every time that we get the ball, we need to put some points on the board. And we preach that every single Sunday. That's what we talk about all through the week, how it's important for us to never have a drive without putting something on the board, be a touchdown or a field goal or something. And the fact that, like towards it just starts getting to where the offense is out there, no points. Offense is back out there, no points. And that's what kills you in games because you can be, like right there where, the opponent is like within striking distance and the 49ers everything just goes blah. Everything just goes stagnant. And we just have too many weapons for that to happen. There's no reason why the 49ers should not be able to advance the ball for the chance to put points on the board every time that we go out there.
Every single time, PG. Every single
time.
Every time. And that's what I'm saying. Like it gets kind of dull and it gets kind of boring. And it's just like right. And then they go down. And then when they're trailing, you have nothing but hope that they can come back and they can figure out a way to like overcome the adversity. But they start hot. They usually start pretty decent. And then when the 49ers, they just lay eggs. Listen, I have 5 keys to victory out there, Peach. And in the 5 keys to victory, I talk about, 5 ways the 49ers can definitely win this game. And all they got to do is stick to these 5 keys to victory. If you guys haven't checked it out, make sure you go to youtube.com. The video is up there. The article is also on 49erswebzone.com. It was published yesterday. So make sure you guys check it out. And I want to know if you agree or disagree with the 5 keys. I'm not going to reiterate the 5 right now, but you know what? Bump it. I'll reiterate them. But I want y'all to read the article before the game starts, before kickoff, because you're going to have an hour after the show. I want you guys to let me know what you think. But Peachy, here's my first key. My first key was to fully utilize Christian McCaffrey, right? Utilize him to the fullest, right? Now we all know what that means, right? Passing game, receiving game, whatever game you got to use him. Make sure Christian McCaffrey gets utilized, not overworked, but utilized. All right, big difference. Number 2, they got to win the turnover battle, Peach. They got to figure out a way how to turn over the ball less. I'm not saying play turnover-free football. I would love that, but that's not realistic, especially for the 49ers. They fumble the ball, they throw interceptions, right? So they got to figure out how to do it less. The good thing for the 49ers is, Peachy, the Rams are worse than them in turnovers. That's the best thing that's going. They're right behind the Niners. So it's the Niners, then the Rams. Go figure. This may be a turnover game, but the 49ers need to turn over the ball less. Number 3, you just said it. You said my number 3. You said we got to score touchdowns. That's it. F3 points. Take the 3 points, but stop trying to settle for 3 points. Jeez. Get touchdowns. Please. Please get touchdowns. They got to get touchdowns. Why? I don't care if you're playing. One, you're playing the Rams, and it's Sean McVay, and you want to make sure you punch him in the mouth and keep punching him in the mouth. This is exactly it, Miss Debbie. Kyle needs to put his foot on the gas from start to finish and not let up, period. Kyle, fill up the damn gas tank and use all the gas in this game. And then when you finish, go fill it up again and then use all the gas for the next game.
That's right.
That's what you got to do. Number 4, be disciplined. Peachy, we had so many penalties last week. It wasn't funny, right?
Yeah.
And it was dumb, costly penalties too. And I think the ones that made Kyle Shanahan more mad, Peachy, were the offsides. You want to speak about the offside penalties?
Are you talking about the crackhead ones that Nick Bosa got back to back?
Yeah, man. I don't know. Crackheads might not line up offsides. They pretty on point. But Nick Bosa, I don't know what that was.
That is so rare for him. Like, it was so crazy. It was rare for him to get one. Then it was really rare for him to get another one, like right behind that one. Like, I was just in amazement at what I was like, what is going on right now? Like, what are we doing right now?
It was on back-to-back plays.
Yes.
The first one, it's weird though, because it's not, I can't tell when they're lined up in the neutral zone or whatever, it's just so weird. But apparently the refs can. And they called it twice. So Nick's got to be more on point. And I feel like those 2 penalties, Peachy, like led him to have like not a great game. Because when you get penalized for something, all right, you ever get in trouble for something at work, Peachy?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do.
But how does the rest of your day go after you get in trouble?
Crappy.
It's not good, right?
Yeah.
Right. Because we're human beings. A, we don't like to be talked to a certain type of way.
Right.
B, we can't say nothing back or we'll lose our job. So we kind of like stuck. C, after that, now it's trying to find a way to rebuild. And the only way to rebuild from that is to go get to the next day as quickly as possible. Go to sleep on it, move on from it, blah, 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 blah.
It was absolutely crappy.
Right. It was.
Yeah. But Bosa and it was like after that, it was like the defense I don't know what happened, but it was, I'm hoping it was just one of those rare things. Somebody said that it was like he was overcompensating, for missing, different things. And he was just trying to, I don't know. I just know that it was rare for him. And I got fussed at, like, you need to cut him some slack. Okay, well, I understand that. But at the same time, like, that can't happen. Like, that can't happen today.
Right.
We can't have that happen today. So that was ridiculous.
And like I said, look, the penalties, I'm okay with a couple of false starts.
Yeah.
Whatever. You could kind of shake those off. But the holds got to go too, Peach. The holdings got to go to because they come at the worst opportune time. Like
Yes.
Michael Grinchy this week, last week it was the week before that was Jake Brindle. It's like, and then the defenses are holding now, and you might see more defensive hold calls in this game because they got Van Jefferson back, Brandon Powell's out there, Skorenick is out there, and then Cooper Kupp. Like on top of that with Cooper Kupp. Okay. And so it is what it is. As far as that. But guys, those are the people that are going to be out. So we got 4 players that we know are going to be out. As far as inactives, that has not been released yet. And I know the moment that it's released, you guys will put it in the chat. So we'll know who's going to be inactive. But Peachy, look, we got to get to the preface of the show. We talked some 49ers, we talked some stuff. We got to get to some of the food parts. And so I know Moses isn't here today, but I'm going to start this off with, I'm a huge fan of Crown Royal. I think you put me onto these too, by the way. So we're going to start.
Yes.
we're going to start with the Crown apples in the can. Now I'm in an apple mood. And so I'm going to go ahead and crack this open. Now listen, I'm thinking tailgate. So when I think tailgate, I'm not thinking of something somebody's got to pour and mix. I'm thinking of something that's already in the can.
Already together.
I can lick my fingers, grab it, and drink it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so that's what we're going to do. Now, a lot of people want to know why I'm doing like the green apple and how does that, like how is that relevant to the 49ers or whatnot? And I'll tell you what, we'll make it relevant together because we're talking about the 49ers offense here, okay? And I'm with you, Mariah. That's my sister. I love it. That's your favorite too. I love it. So you know what? Let me just take a sip real quick. It was almost a gulp. Because it was
those refreshing. Are so good.
Right. It was refreshing as well as, but listen, let's talk about this offense. The offense has been a little green lately. It has been a little down, but Peachy, there's good news about the offense.
What's that?
They're rising up. They're throwing more, right? They're scoring, I guess, more points. You can say, right? And they scored in the second half last week. We didn't see the offense score in the second half damn near all season. So there's some type of trend upwards for this offense. The question is, if the passing offense is moving up, can this week the rushing offense move up as well? And that's where CMC comes into place. But it doesn't fall just on him, Peach. It falls on the rushing attack, period. Jeff Wilson has to still rush hard, get those big gains. CMC has to rush hard, get those big games. Oh, Peach, I got to ask you this question.
Yeah.
The trade deadline is on Tuesday.
Yep.
Do you think that they even play Jeff Wilson Jr. today? So here's my theory. If he plays today, he's not getting traded.
See, I'm not exactly sure because the Saints are trying to trade Alvin Kamara, and they're featuring him today.
They're trying to trade Alvin Kamara, but the Saints are looking for exactly what the 49ers gave up. And I don't think anybody else is giving that up for a running back.
So what if the 49ers want to play Jeff Wilson so they can feature him today? So that they can...
Do you think Jeff Wilson Jr. needs to be featured? I'm just saying, before a trade, I don't think so. I think he's...
I don't know.
He's top, maybe a top 10 running back this year.
You might be right, though. If he doesn't... I know one thing. If he's not out there, I know what that means.
Oh, he's getting traded. Guys, pay attention. If Jeff Wilson Jr. is inactive,
I know what that means.
Scratch, his behind is going to another team, and it might be like the Eagles.
Right.
Mose, I knew your face was going because Mose, tell me, Mose covers the NFL, guys. So if you don't know, make sure you subscribe to his channel. Mose, tell me how confident you are in the Eagles run game, and you already know the Eagles are all in.
How confident am I in the Eagles run game if they get Jeff Wilson Jr.?
No, without him. Like I don't think their run game is that.
Yeah, without him. I mean, they only have Miles Sanders. I forget the guys behind Miles Sanders are forgettable. I mean, there's Gainwell, but Gainwell is
more like a receiver, right?
And they're trying to not run Jalen so much, so they're trying to get.
But what he was supposed to add as far as the receiving game, he don't really add that. Like, I'm not scared of Kenneth Gainwell catching the ball out of the backfield. Like, he doesn't. He's capable of doing it, but he's not the threat that we thought he would be. And then Miles Sanders is up and down. So you add Jeff Wilson Jr. to that.
I'm just saying.
Then it really might get scary in Philly.
And I'm saying that because the Eagles are all in. They just traded for another defensive person. Like they're all in.
Yeah.
Robert Quinn, right? They got Robert Quinn, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So they're saying, oh, this is the year. And the NFC got to come through us.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not mad at them for doing that. Like, that's what the 49ers are trying to, kind of flip the script. I still think the Niners match up well against the Eagles. I just think that the 49ers will probably struggle with them like they did last year, week 2 of the NFL, because of Jalen freaking Hurts, bro.
Yeah.
And that's just what I think. But anyway, Mose, I don't know if you had a drink prepared, but I was just drinking this Crown Apple. We talking about the offense. If you don't, what are your takes on the 49ers offense, man? Like, what do they have to do, to keep this team afloat? In my opinion, the offense needs to be dominant. They need to be more dominant than the defense. And I know that sounds crazy, but this should be the week for the offense. The Rams defense, even though it's good, the 49ers offense should be able to find a way to figure the Rams defense out. Rams defense is ranked number 3 too, by the way. For guys that didn't know, just want to put that out there.
Yeah, as far as drink, I just listened to your suggestion. I brought back the drink from last week, the Rams Envy, with an AKA. This time we can call it the Scrambleton.
Okay.
Because we try and get the Scrams out of here. Get them out of here.
But
also what I did was we made a little purchase on Amazon.
Okay.
Got the little adult Capri Sun pouches.
Hey.
So that's what it looked like now in the adult Capri Sun pouch. You know what I'm saying? So we got that Rams green envy because, they still won't be able to beat us. But looking at the offense, these are usually the games where Kyle comes with his best stuff, which is frustrating at the same time because come with your best stuff every week.
Right.
9 times out of 10, the coaches on the other side of the field don't really have an answer for what you're doing.
Right.
Defensively or offensively. Offensive coaches don't really have the mind or the thought or the firepower to match what you have. There's very few. Unfortunately, we saw it last week with Andy Reid and Kansas City Chiefs. But in this matchup particularly, we talk about Kyle. We talk about his ego. We talk about, how he never wants anybody under him, any of his proteges to beat him. So he always comes with a little something special. So Christian McCaffrey, again, no Deebo Samuel, but Christian McCaffrey this week, a full week under the system. He apparently knows the playbook inside and out. He's been studying furiously. And I think Kyle is going to find – here's what I've been saying. And a lot of people say, well, it's on Jimmy Garoppolo. He's not a good quarterback. We know what his limitations are. All that stuff is good. But the best coaches in the league, right? The best coaches find a way to get it done no matter who's on the field. You have to find a way to limit deficiencies as much as possible. And with this team and with the weapons that we have, even without Deebo, we still got CMC. We still got Jeff Wilson Jr. We still got Kittle. We still got Ayuk. We have so many weapons. We have more than enough weapons for Kyle to be able to find ways to get people open.
Yep.
And to limit Jimmy's deficiencies. Now, I understand the other half of that is, well, Kyle can do all that. Can Jimmy make the throws? I get that. I really do get that. But I think the more you put him in position to succeed and the more you limit his deficiencies, the higher the probability that Jimmy will be able to be successful. And what's the one thing that we've been talking about over the past few weeks that allow him to be successful? Well, run the football more. Take the ball out of his hands. If you're not happy with him as your quarterback, if you understand his limitations and deficiencies, why are you having him throw the ball 25 or more times, 30 or more times, 35 or more times? Run the freaking football. You got the horses to do it. You got CMC, you got Jeff Wilson Jr. who looks healthy, you got Ty Davis Price back. Run the football, bro. Do what you got to do, run the football, control the clock, and then just allow Jimmy to be successful in what he's good at. And if it is 5-10 yards, middle of the field, whatever, scheme those guys open, scheme Ayuk open on those slants, find ways to get Kittle mismatches against a slow Bobby Wagner, other linebackers on this Rams team that we don't know about. You utilize CMC out the backfield, run some more screens, allow Jimmy to check down, whatever the case may be, but just put him in better positions to be successful. That's it. And that falls with Kyle first.
And it definitely does. Pete, I got a question for you. Moses talked about the coaching. And when you go back and look at our coaching, and we know it starts with Kyle Shanahan, he's got a lot of first-year people coaching. Do you think that could be a reason to why the 49ers just aren't on the same page from a coaching perspective? You got a lot of young coaches and new coaches, even if they're older or whatever, trying to get and get under, get used to the new system that they're in. Do you think that could be a problem? Why they just seem discombobulated?
Yeah, I do. I think that they've not quite got cohesive enough to, kind of understand. I mean, what we got to understand is that Kyle had the same coaching staff, the framework of the same coaching staff for a long time. So they pretty much understood, what he wanted, and he could rely on them to, kind of line up with his thoughts and how he wanted. When we had McDaniel, he pretty much could, kind of format ways to get the offense going and things like that as well. So it's definitely seems like that it could be just a chemistry thing with him trying to just, with them trying to get cohesive enough to understand each other. So it definitely is. I mean, you're right. There's a bunch of new people on here.
Yeah, and it just, what made me wonder was like, I mean, I don't know if it's about those other coaches, getting cohesive with Kyle. Sometimes I feel like they just don't speak up because they're afraid to speak up. You know what I'm saying? And it shouldn't be like that. Like if I'm a coach and you're asking me to do my job, then I'm gonna do my job, and I'm gonna do it the way I do it. And here's what you want to do with these particular groups of like players, because I feel like the ones Kyle has his relationships with, the good relationships, the one he's known for years, like you said, like the Kosariks and the Forsters and those guys, Kyle listens to them. But then you bring in these new guys and you're developing other guys, as new coaches, because you lose the kid McDaniel, and what's the other guy? LaFleur. You lose those guys, you know what I'm saying? And then other guys too. You lost your tight ends coach, you lost a bunch of coaches. You didn't lose your special teams. Well, you kind of lost your special teams because I think he quit before they fired him. So you lost Hightower as well. And so like now you're bringing in all these other people. And this is why we didn't hear from Kyle for a minute, because he was probably trying to get his coaches right, get on the same page. But for some reason, there's some type of like disconnect, with them. And so they're going to have to figure that out. And because the season's, we're almost at the middle. Like yeah. we're getting to the middle of the season where we should be hitting our stride right now. Coaching, execution, no dumb penalties, player. Like I feel like do the 49ers even have any leaders in any of the NFL stats? Not that matters, but are any players out there standing out? At the beginning of the season, it was a lot of Hufanga. Now, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. If I check positions, right? Give me a position to check that you want. I got it right here in front of me. Give me a position that you feel like 49ers should probably be standing out in. Wide receiver? Rushing? I'll go to rushing. All right. So with the running backs, 49ers, all right. So, well, because of Christian McCaffrey, they have the fourth best running back in the league. But, Christian just got here. Jeff Wilson Jr. is 34.
Yep.
34 on that list. You know what I mean? So, like, as a group, as a collective group, you're going to see the stats to be a little bit higher. 49ers are, they're higher in rushing as a collective group. But I'm just thinking from a player perspective, they have the talent. But if the coaches aren't letting the talent out the bag, how can we fault the player? And then when they're supposed to execute and make this play and they miss out on it, then they don't get another opportunity to overcome it. Then it's just like, oh man, we only remember the player from that one bad play. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so like that, for me, like the coaches got to figure out how to coach together, opposed to I'm just going to do this and I'm not going to, Kyle, I don't know. It feels like there's something going on with that, but hopefully they get it together during the bye week. And it starts after beating the Rams. I tell you what, we beat these Rams. All right, we beat the Rams. Things are going to be on the up and up for the 49ers. I can tell you that right now. And we're going to beat the Rams. I'm not we're going to beat the Rams. I really feel like they're going to beat the Rams. They beat the Rams all the time. I don't see what would be different. The only thing different, all right, so Deebo and so Jennings is out as well. All right, so Matt Mayoko, thank you, 49ers _ Jawan Jennings is out as well. All right.
Amen.
So
Praise God.
That's 2 wide receivers. But now, all right, Mo, so who's replacing Jawan Jennings on the offensive side?
I mean, it's already been Ray McCloud.
Guy that
he's been getting more burn.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he dropped a wide open pass, and I should be giving that same energy to Ray, but Ray hasn't done it consistently.
I mean, they don't throw the deep ball consistently.
Right.
That too. But Jawan Jennings, he not dropping deep stuff. He dropping short stuff.
Yeah.
And then add on to the litany of drops from him. Now you want to commit dumb penalties on kickoff when we done already gave up 50 yards.
Yeah, that was insult to injury right there. That was dumb.
Like Martin said at the couples retreat in the last episode I watched this last week. Man, sit your dumb ass down.
Right. That was dumb. And maybe he's not injured. Maybe he's just maybe he's injured in the emotional category for some reason, because that was dumb.
Why? How?
Because Kyle called him out on it. I'm just saying, Kyle probably called him out, and he got to sit down. Like you can't do that. Here's
what frustrates me. Here's what pisses me off too, because now I feel like we've been hoodwinked. Because last year Jawan Jennings, he's a gamer. He's a dog. Well, when Kyle Shanahan called out Brandon Ayuk was hot. They had to have a one-to-one man-to-man, which got heated. But then they calmed down, talked their differences out, and now look at where Brandon Ayuk has ascended to. So now I'm confused. Is Jawan Jennings really a dog? Because if you're telling me Kyle sat him down and had a conversation and like, bruh, if you want to be the number 3 as far as our wide receivers and continue to be a productive member of this offense, you got to step it up. You can't be doing this or you're going to ride the bench. If that conversation from Kyle is allowing him to play like this, where he's not focused, he's making dumb penalties that hurt the team, then yeah, he don't need to be playing. He doesn't need to be out there.
See, I agree with you, but I disagree, because ain't not one player in this team that don't do some dumb shit.
I mean, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, Nick
Bosa dumbass lining up off sides 2 times, but you ain't benching him. So if you're gonna throw that smoke to him, then it need to be held across the board for every player. I don't care if Nick Bosa is that meaningful to this team.
Right. All these receivers that be dropping, hell, like Ayuk dropping stuff
Deebo, Ayuk
that's close too.
Deebo got like 8 or 9 drops this year.
If you go to that first drive, Ayuk dropped that pass. That wasn't a bad throw by Jimmy. Ayuk got to catch that joint.
Dropping passes.
We keep the chains moving, and we probably score a touchdown. But then Ayuk gets the audacity to go out there and say, "Yo, we too talented to not score." Negro, catch the ball.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so then this brings me to my next point, and you kind of touched on it a little bit as far as the coaching aspect with the new coaches. But shout out to my cousin Sid. Me and him have been talking, and he says all of this undisciplined bullshit that's happening right now, the drops, the mistakes, the dumb penalties, the lapse of judgment. He said ultimately it goes back to Kyle, but it begs the question, how are we practicing?
Right.
How are we practicing throughout the week
Maybe they're not dropping the ball.
Where when we get to the game, there's all of this undisciplined lack of awareness, lack of focus, lack of concentration. All of this dumb stuff keeps happening. Like, how are we practicing during the week? Are the players not being held accountable during practice? Like, are they making mistakes in practice and just, well, you got the mental rep in. You know what we need to do. You know what it's supposed to look like. Just do it better on Sunday. That really begs the question.
It's a good question. That's a good point. Good question. I don't know the answer to that. I'm not there at practice. I wish I was, because if I could see it, I guarantee you. Now you got to remember, at practice, they all over the place. Everybody's working out individually with their coaches, with their groups and things like that. When they do the 11-on-11s, maybe you don't see a lot of the stuff. You know what I'm saying? Maybe and like I was watching something. They were saying something about like how practices is different because you don't have the refs there, right? You don't have the officials there to call holding, offsides, this is that and the third. In my opinion, if I'm Kyle Shanahan and my team keeps effing up penalty wise, we working 1st and 20s every day, all day long. 1st and 20, dig yourself out the hole. Here's this play on the 1st down. Here's this play on the 2nd down. Let's figure out ways we could dig ourselves out of the hole. That's what's going to make them better. Here's the issue, though, Mose. When your players are missing, Deebo Samuel, Trent Williams, all your starters, you can't build that cohesiveness. Then when they come in the game and they're off kilter, just a slight, you see drop passes, you see dumb penalties, you see, all the dumb stuff. So maybe the issue is they're just not practicing like the way that they should. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's not there. Everybody's not
but at some point, don't you still have to practice the way you normally do? Because
you do.
Your second string and third string, they got to be ready to play. Everybody on that 53-man roster, y'all made the team for a reason. We got our starters, we got our backups. If for whatever reason our starters can't go, what's the saying in the NFL? Next man up. Correct. That's why you are one of 53 on 32 teams. That list of players is short.
But the main point to your point, when you say next man up, the next man up gotta have that dog mentality. So they're not. Dude, Willie Snead not practicing with the ones, bro. It's just not happening. But if somebody went down, he better go out there and be the number one wide receiver. You get what I'm saying? If he don't have that mentality, though.
Yeah, but you know as well as I know, you're not going to get it. You're not going to get a team full of 53 dogs. It's not going to happen.
You're not.
I don't think any team in the NFL has 53 dogs.
You're right, but then we can't. Then that next man up joint is kind of irrelevant because the next man up.
It's not irrelevant.
But it is, because that next man up is not going to be as good as the man that you had in there. And then you're expecting that. I don't need you to be as good. I just need you to get us through. And get us through is play well enough for us to be in position to get a W until the starter comes back. Because listen, there's not a lot of Josh Allens, there's not a lot of Patrick Mahomes, there's not a lot of Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers in the league, but there are other quarterbacks. Look at that next tier of quarterbacks. Kirk Cousins is not on the level of those four guys, but he got his team sitting at 6-1. Hey, they getting it done.
So he's finding a way to get it done. Everybody not going to be a dog. Or everybody not going to be a superstar.
Or maybe he is at that tier and we just been overlooking him big time. See, it's just look, Mose, Peachy, I love y'all. I respect all y'all takes, and I'm glad we don't always agree. But this is always, everybody looks at it from a different lens. For me, I expect whoever goes in there to give me that 100% of themselves. I don't expect drop passes and things like that. Now, I know Kenny had a comment out there and says, how do you expect these wide receivers to catch passes that are high? I'm not saying that I do, but the passes that are thrown to them and they drop, those are drops. The high passes are questionable drops for me because I need to see the throw. I need to see you know what I'm saying? Even if they do get their hands on it, I feel like that's part quarterback, part receiver. But there's times we know our wide receivers will stand there like this and be like, got it. No, I don't. Right? Like, that's what we do. And we aren't we like leading the team league? We're just top 5 in drops.
Yeah.
Top 2, I think. If we're not 1, we're 2.
That's ridiculous. For all this talent, we got all these drops.
Yep.
And what makes it worse is I gotta find that that chart that I was looking at. But not only are we like second in the league in drops, but we're also at the top of the list of how those drops have had a negative effect on us. Like the negative effect of our drops has been more than some other teams.
Correct.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's when you're talking about compound injuries. Not only are you leading the league or tops in the league in drops, but you're tops in the negative impact of those drops. Where if you didn't have those, maybe the outcome of the game would be different. That's a problem.
Correct.
That is a problem. And we talking about Kyle and we talking about Juwan Jennings. I don't think Kyle, I know you say he might have had a conversation. I don't know if Kyle addressed it with Juwan soon enough or vigorously enough to where it made a statement to everybody else.
It should have been out in public.
Because that should have made a statement that you don't want to catch these passes.
Okay.
And like you said, same thing even with Deebo. Deebo should not have 8 drops. We didn't even play our 8th game. But already got 8 drops.
A lot of that, in my opinion, has to do with the chemistry, the cohesiveness, the practice. Like, it's just not where it should be with his wide receiver. So if Jimmy's throwing to one guy and he's throwing darts and they got a connection, and then the other guys come in there and all of a sudden, like, they don't have a connection because they weren't at practice or they had to miss practice for this or they had an injury or they just coming back or they didn't do OTAs, they didn't do training camp. Like, it's just a slower process. Look, it's just a slower process. Look, the 49ers today got a guy I know that don't drop the ball. Throwing the goddamn ball all the time then. Give Christian McCaffrey the ball over and over and over again because you know what he doesn't do? He has 1 drop pass on this season, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe even 2.
See, that was the whole point. Kenneth brought up, other teams have receivers that drop the ball, but they're not in crucial moments. In that Falcons game, those drops were so crucial. Like they literally could have been touchdowns. And there was different times during that game where that game could have been flipped so easy. And that's what hurts us so bad is that these drops always happen in some crucial moments, either when you're about to convert to a first down or even a touchdown that could turn into a touchdown. So
I agree.
They got to play better.
I agree 100%. I agree. And we spent a lot of time on the offense because as bad as our defense was last week, which we're going to get into and we're going to transition into in a second, as bad as the defense was, the offense still, in my opinion, is the issue because your defense is out there on the field more than your offense.
Yep.
And if your offense can't get 7 points, give your defense a break. I don't even care, Moses and Peachy, if the offense scored in 30 seconds. That's energy. That's juju. That's momentum. If your offense can score in 30 seconds, defense going to come out hot.
Yeah.
Word. Let's get them the ball back. They might be hot.
The ball back so they can score in another 30 seconds.
See what I'm saying? Even if that means the defense, that means the offense would only play 1 minute of football, and the defense is like, yo, the offense is hot. Let's give them the ball back. I guarantee you that's how the Eagles are playing right now.
Of course.
Guarantee it. They know their offense is going to go out there and do their thing. The 49ers offense, on the other hand, it's a little wishy-washy. It's just crazy. It's crazy to think about it. All right, guys, we're going to transition into the defense, guys. So I'm going to let y'all talk about the defense a little bit. Let's talk about this defense. They dropped their ranking. I think they're ranked 7th in the NFL, 7th or 8th, if I'm not mistaken. They dropped a little bit. Or they're top 5, if I'm not mistaken. I remember doing the show. The Rams are 3, the 49ers are 5. But they are dropping in categories. They're giving up more rushing yards. They're giving up more passing yards. Let's talk about the defense. We got Jimmy Ward back, and guess what? He's not on the IR. I mean, he's not
Actually,
on.
we're 4, bro, not 5. We're 4.
We're 4.
Yeah.
And who is 3? The Rams.
Rams.
Gotcha. So we're 4.
So it's Buffalo, Philly, Rams, us.
There it goes. And so here we go. You got Jimmy Ward fully healthy. He's not even listed as anything. This is good news because Jimmy Ward is going to have to play nickel. And let's talk about that today because before you came on the show, Mose, I like it because I think the Rams come out in a lot of 3 wide outs. And I'm cool with Jimmy Ward being that extra nickel back on the field. Who do you want playing more predominantly in the slot? Jimmy, Demo, or Womack? Those are your choices.
I want Womack in the slot. I want Womack in the nickel. And I mean, as he filled in admirably, but I want Jimmy on the back end. Okay. Especially if he's unhappy. And I'm sure he's going to go out and play his best because he don't want to put bad tape and he don't want to let his team down. But it's just something different when you play a position that you love. Like, I'll speak for myself. Like, I go out and play flag football just because I love getting out there. It's my exercise and it's something that I love. I'm one of the bigger dudes, so I got to play offensive line. I don't like doing it, but I'll help my team win. But when I can get them defensive snaps, that's when I play my best because I'm at a position that I love. I'm at a position that I know. I'm at a position where I feel like I can be the most creative and I can do what I do on the field and make an impact. You know what I'm saying? And this is just me, not a professional player playing flag football, right? I'll play offensive line if you need me to, but y'all know I'm on defense and I'm getting after the pass. I'm getting them flags and I'm getting sacks, right? So for me, I want him playing back because when he's back there and he's diagnosing everything and he's seeing everything, he's like a secondary quarterback. Like Fred, where's the green dot? He calls the plays, but Jimmy is the hawk that sees everything. And he can relay a message to Fred. Well, then Fred can relay to his linebackers in the defensive line. And Jimmy gets the secondary where they need to be at all times. I want him back there. And I want Samuel Womack to continue to improve. Because eventually, with the way he's been playing, one, we already know when Samuel Womack's on the field, somehow the football finds him. Doesn't matter what he does, whether it's on special teams or in the nickel, somehow the football finds Samuel Womack. That's a good thing for us. But I want him to continue to get reps, to see different situations, to see different types of players so that he can feel most comfortable going into the next season and the season after that and the season after that. So I want Womack in the slot. I want Jimmy back. I want Mooney and Demo on the outsides. That's what I want to see. But it looks like we got a different plan in putting Jimmy in the nickel. I don't know.
Well, here's my only answer to why the plan is what the plan is. Here you go, Mose, right? So I don't think Tashawn Gibson has been playing poor football. He's been one of the top safeties in the league. Just the last couple of games, he looks like he's been struggling a little bit, right? And then you got Hufanga, who just can't figure out. I can't tell if he's healthy. I really can't. Like, he doesn't seem as healthy as he was prior to that concussion that he got a couple of weeks ago, right? So you got them, but they're still playing really good safety. You got to play single high, you got to play 2-man under, whatever it is you got to play, they do it well together. Now you get Jimmy Ward back, and you're saying, all right, they're playing well together. I don't want to take them out of sync from what they've been doing all season. Where can I use Ward and it benefits the team? You get what I'm saying? And it's only at the nickel back. It's nickel or any one of the safety spots. And so now you're putting in another high cognitive player to play a position that he played well in 2015, 2016, and even a couple of years ago. He played really well in the slot. He didn't like it, and he's not getting paid to do it, but he played well in it. And listen, somebody said Ward can't cover Kupp. Ty, I think you said that. First of all, ain't no DB in the league that can cover Cooper Kupp in the slot, because all Cooper Kupp got to do is run a slant and he's open. Most receivers do that. The question is, can you keep up with them and make the tackle? Are you there? Slot is not about getting interceptions. Slot is about taking the right angle and making the right play. That's what you do in the slot. You want to know what made K1 good? It's because when he was healthy, it wasn't about him getting picks. He would get picks if the quarterbacks made mistakes. When the quarterbacks didn't make mistakes, he had to make sure he was the one in there on every tackle. When they started running, when Cooper Kupp started running routes though out of the slot, Williams was he was a liability. Let's just call it like it was. He was getting toasted and boasted. I'm not saying that's going to happen to Ward, but I think you take his IQ and you stick it in the position that he played in. My only concern about him playing in the nickel is injury. That's it. It's my only concern because I'm worried about him not being free and him having to do all this other stuff.
Yeah. And him having that severe hamstring injury, when you're in the slot, the wide receiver has a two-way go. They can go left or they can go right.
Mm-hmm.
And if you got a good route runner like a Cooper Kupp, you got to be on your toes all the time. And you got to be able to quick twitch, flip your hips, get your feet in the right position, because you got to turn whichever way he's going. Like, you can guess if you want to. Yeah, you may be able to guess against some of the, the lower tier, slot receivers in the league, but you can't guess and guess wrong against Cooper Kupp, because that's a big play waiting to happen. Mm-hmm. So if we're trying to ease him back, make sure the hamstring is good, make sure he doesn't re-aggravate that injury. Why would you put him at a position that takes so much, especially from your lower half, your lower body? Like, it takes so much to play that position. Put the young boy Samuel Womack in there. He's faster than Jimmy Ward as far as quick twitch and straight line speed, and he hasn't had any injuries, ankle, knee, hamstring, none of that. So let the young bull play. And yeah, it's going to be a tough matchup, but like you said, what DBs in the league are covering Cooper Kupp? And even if they are covering him, Matthew Stafford is going to force the ball to him 17 times. Yep. So he's still going to get 8, 9, 10 catches. It don't matter, because that's their number one and pretty much only option. He's going to get the ball because they're forcing it to him. So let Womack play, put Jimmy Ward back at free, and let him do what he do. I mean, I get it. I understand everything you're saying too. You don't want to mess up the chemistry between Hufanga and Tashawn Gibson. But, I mean, Jimmy Ward is better than Tashawn Gibson. Jimmy Ward was the starter. Jimmy Ward was a top 100 player last year.
It's not
so
about
when he
that,
comes
though.
back. When he comes back, he should get his spot.
But he's also better than Womack, and he's better than Diamador Lenore. So you got to understand what I'm saying here. You play Madden, so I'm gonna take my highest DB and I'm gonna put him in the nickel. Right? If I got two lockdown
Madden, I'm putting a faster player in nickel. So I'm putting Womack there because Womack speed.
I don't know, bro. Womack lost his job to Demo, so Womack ain't starting. Period. So we got to figure that out first. So that's the issue. So if
we got no Mosley, so that means that pushes Demo outside because it moves everybody up the depth chart one. So no Mosley.
But I'm
Demo
trying to still figure
outside.
out how he lost that position. Like, how did he lose it? Because I don't think Demo's better than Womack in the slot.
No, I think early on a lot of it was athleticism and making plays. But now that we're getting into the season,
that
we're getting into the season,
the Cowboys don't give a fuck about that, and Diggs was all athleticism and making plays. Matter of fact, he was such a bad cornerback. If you ran real good routes on him, you burnt him. But it's when it's right. But it's when you didn't. He took advantage of it. So let Womack play. I agree with you. But
I'm just saying it. I think early on it was athleticism, and Womack shined in that area. But once we got to the season and we got to game planning, well, Demo got the leg up because Demo went to a more predominant D1 football program at Oregon, and he's already been under DeMeco Ryans for a year. So he understands how DeMeco Ryan schemes, how he game plans, how they go over things in the meeting rooms, not only in the DB room, but as a collective defense. So I think maybe the intellectual side pushed Demo up that list because he was just more prepared when it came to what do you know? What is your football IQ outside of just you being athletic and being able to make plays? But I agree with you 1,000%. When somebody is athletic and is able to just make plays, you keep them out there and you allow them to learn on the job. Once they put that IQ part with the athleticism and making plays, that's when you get superstars. That's when you get players who are unstoppable. So that would be why I'm going where I'm going, because I just like Womack in the slot, and I think he's just a little bit more sticky as far as when it comes to that man-to-man coverage. Correct. And just let Jimmy Ward do what he do at the free safety, because that's his position.
Well, we'll see what's going to happen today. All right. It's all good. I see you, Marketing Pro. Thanks for joining the stream, man. Appreciate you. Good luck today.
He ain't been here in a minute.
I know. Well, he hasn't. I don't think he knew the channel change.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So
I know. Even when the channel didn't change, it was a couple.
Right.
Marketing Pro wasn't in here after that loss.
After week 4, is you trying to say? I got you.
Yeah, after that week 4 loss, Marketing Pro was a little quiet.
Lake City says they don't trust Womack. He gave up two TDs in Atlanta, and I forgot about this actually. And the only thing was the one TD he was lined up out wide for both of those TDs, right? Which is weird because that was his natural position, right? And then he comes to the Niners and they force him to play slot. So but that doesn't mean that they don't trust him, Lake, and you're probably right. They don't trust him. I want to get to the defense. I only want to be here for 5 more minutes. All right, 5 minutes. We got to do defense, and I'll keep it quick, guys. We're playing the Rams, so I made some lamb skewers. I'm gonna go ahead and just put these up to the thing. All right, so it got tzatziki sauce on the joint. I made fresh tzatziki sauce, however you say it. So I'm gonna go ahead and squirt some of that lemon on the lamb. And I'm not going to take a bite because we're going to get the show. We're going to keep it moving. But if you want to watch the video on how I prepared the lamb, go ahead and check it out. I was going to show it today. Then I looked at the time and I'm like, yo, Nothing But Niners is on. I want to respect him. So let's go ahead and respect NBN. That's the family. But I got lambs. We're going to be cooking some lambs. And I think today we grilled the lamb, right? So today is more of a grill more than a bake, right? I think the 49ers go out and usually grill food cooks a little bit faster than when you're baking, right? So I think the 49ers are going to come out here and cook. Now, when you're cooking lamb, it doesn't take too long to cook the lamb, maybe about 15 to 20 minutes max if you got it on a slow grill. But if you got that grill nice and fired up, that lamb going to cook nice and quick, and it's going to be nice and tender and nice and juicy. I think the 49ers on defense are built exactly that way, even though they're missing that Armstead up the middle, right? They're missing that key piece of beef or lamb and the beef, because that's what we are. They're missing that key piece of beef up the middle. But listen, they got Ty McGill. I think that's going to play today. I think they got some other players that's going to play today, and I think they're going to step up. I think the 49ers are going to do one thing. They're going to stop that freaking run. They realize that they're giving up way too many rushing yards, bro, and it's forcing your guys like your all-pros like Fred Warner to have bad games. And I need the Vikings to continue beating the snot out of the Arizona Cardinals, and they're not. They're losing. Right. And so what's going on? So listen, when you look at the 49ers, they got to go out there. They got to take these lambs by the shoulders, by the legs, by the whatever it is they need to do, and they need to go out there and grill them. And I mean grill them. Not burn them on the grill, because you still want tasty lamb. Right. But they need to definitely give them a nice char. You know what I'm saying? And they could do that on the defense. I'm saying right here today, the defense scores a touchdown. That's my hot take for today. Nice. I'm not going to tell you who's going to score it, but the defense is going to get 7 points. And then
that looks really good, Breezy.
Thank you, Peachy. Now, let's get to the dessert and the special teams, because Peachy, when it comes to the dessert, that's what you do. You are the queen of the dessert. You can bake, you can make, you can do all that stuff, right? Now, my only concern is Brandon Powell. I don't have the Rams inactives or actives yet. I have the 49ers that we posted up here. Thank you, Fernando. Thank you, Miss Debbie. But I do have to circle one guy. His name is Brandon Powell. That's the guy you're going to want to circle. Now, he's been struggling with injury all week. We talked about it a little bit earlier. Marketing Pro, if you're still out there, let us know in the chat what's the status on Brandon Powell. I'm not going to front. He's not only a threat in special teams as Peachy gets her dessert ready, but he's also a threat in the running game as a wide receiver. And that's somebody you definitely want to put a star behind, because last game he was trying to be the X factor. You knew Cooper Kupp was going to be the guy. Now they get Van Jefferson back, but Brandon Powell can be an X factor on special teams. Let's talk about it while Peachy gets her stuff together. You good? You got your stuff, Peach?
Oh yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Do your presentation. You got it. My phone finally reset it. So
no, it's no problem at all. Okay, so what I have for you guys today is these golden yummy brownies.
Golden yummy brownies.
Golden yammy brownies.
Yammy brownies. So they made with yams.
Yes, they're made with yams. So just think of like your sweet potatoes that you make. They're just like sweet potato brownies. But they're called golden yam brownies, but so we call them golden yammy brownies.
Ooh.
That they're so good. My family's trying to like take all of them. So I'm having to like stop and mute and tell them, hey, don't eat up all the brownies downstairs, but they're really delicious.
Looks like you got 3 right there. You should be good to go.
They are very soft, and because whenever I make brownies, I hate hard brownies. So our brownies are always very, very soft and chewy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like hard brownies. I don't know why people like those, but
I like the chewy brownies. You like the fluffy brownies?
Do what now?
I like the chewy brownies, but you like the fluffy ones?
I mean, the ones that are not hard. Like some people like the hard brownies. I like the ones that are soft. I like the soft brownies.
Yeah.
So these brownies right here.
I'm just trying to figure out what we consider the hard brownies. Is that like the Miss Debbie joints? I'm just trying to figure out the
yes.
harder.
Yes. Yeah, chewy. The hard brownies are like the Miss Debbie brownies.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. I like the soft flaky brownies.
Gotcha.
Flaky. That's what I'm trying to say. Flaky soft brownies are the ones that I like most. They're saying that you look hypnotized. So the reason why that I chose these is one, because Halloween's tomorrow, and I wanted something to go along with that to leave them orange. And since we're going to go out there today, we're definitely wanting to put a spook into this Rams team on special teams. We're needing our special teams to come out there. Now, we're wanting to turn these Rams into yams. And when you put the yams in there, you dice them up and you have to flatten them. And that's what we're wanting to do with these Rams, to turn them into yams. You flatten and you fold. So we're wanting these Rams to fold over. I'm wanting special teams to take the ball away from these Rams today. And I want the special teams to score a touchdown.
Ooh, so I got a defensive score. PC has a special team score.
Yes.
I'm just curious because according to Madden,
yes, which I was going to bring up,
Jimmy Ward was on special teams and he got a touchdown.
And scored a touchdown. Correct. So I am wanting that to happen. So I do believe that if everyone thinks about that, let's turn these Rams into yams. That's exactly what I want. I want us to do that.
I tell you what, if we beat the Rams, when we beat the Rams, tomorrow's nitty gritty title will be Rams into yams.
Got you.
Okay.
Yep. I would like for this. So whenever Mariah, this recipe will be in the description of the show, but I'll definitely make sure that you get it.
I like this one.
But I had never heard of this before, and it was really cool.
Yam right. Or we might call it yam right.
I like a lot.
That's fire.
Yes.
Yam right. You got yam right.
Yes, sir. That's fire.
I love that.
Let's go.
Our family, boy, our Niners family, they be bringing it, boy, for real. They really do. But we need for our special teams to step up. Of course, like we say every week, we need for when we're out there on the offense, we need to, advance the ball as much as we can to help our offense today, especially with Deebo missing from the offense. It's important and imperative for us to try to move the ball down the field, try not to make mistakes like we did in the Atlanta game, trip over the ball to where, you know, it stops at the 5 or, you know, things like that. So we're going to need our players to pay attention to down and distance and everything and all that fun stuff. But as far as on the other side, I really believe that the 49ers will score a defensive touchdown or a special teams touchdown when the Rams are out there on the offensive side, and that we will be able to get the ball. So that's what I mean. Turn them Rams into yams.
Listen, we got lamb. First, let me rewind. So, like, hold on. I know my mouth is full. My bad. Because the dill and the Italian seasoning and the different marinara that I got on this joint right here, and the lamb is tender love too. Tender love.
We got love. That's my jam.
Rams, we got lambs, and now we got the yams.
Yams, baby.
Damn, let's go. Let's get this joint. Let's get this win. This is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go out there and we're going to take this victory. We're going to take over SoFi Stadium. I know the fans are out there right now. I know they're all redded out. I know for a fact that the 49ers are going to come out. They're going to start off hot, and they're going to end hot, and they're going to control hot. They're going to go on what we call medium heat. The 49ers are going to be what I like to use to do my cooking, an air fryer, where you can have a bunch of different temperatures and you just dial it up when you need be.
Exactly.
Now, I tell you what, though, Peachy and Moles, I understand that these are going to be our starting 5 receivers, well, at least the 5 active guys. And I know that they put them in the chat. Miss Debbie put them out there. But Brandon Ayuk is going to be our 1. Ray McCloud is going to be our 2. Willie Snead, 3. Danny Gray, 4. Tay Martin's going to get his first NFL start with the 49ers. Listen, don't be alarmed. You still got George Kittle. You got a guy named Christian McCaffrey, which they're going to use heavily today in the passing game. This is exactly why they're okay and confident in what they're putting out there. Just hear what I'm saying. Just listen, I wouldn't be surprised Jeff Wilson Jr. rushed for over 100 yards now. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be. It ain't going to be Christian McCaffrey. They're going to line him up and mismatch something serious.
What if Christian McCaffrey and Jeff Wilson Jr. both rush for over 100 yards? Because what we've been telling Kyle to do, we've been telling Kyle to run the dang football. How do you eliminate Aaron Donald from getting after your quarterback and making it a bad day? Run the football. Run it away from him. So you pound with Jeff Wilson Jr. Pauls, and then you lightning with White Lightning CMC. And both of them in this game rush for over 100 yards at Levi South.
All right, there you have it.
And Jimmy Garoppolo, don't walk into sacks.
Right. Damn it. We almost went the whole show
without talking about this man and his negatives. Since she brought up walking into sacks, also, don't be throwing up prayers in the red zone.
Oh, my God. Yes.
Don't just
Lord
be throwing it up.
No NBA jump balls today.
Just don't throw it to the other team, period. Throw that shit out of bounds.
Right.
Do something. Just don't give it to him, Jim. Like, if Jimmy doesn't give this game away, we win. That's it.
Like all these things. So our friend and sister Chrissy says 49ers need to win for my sister. She's a huge fan and just had a double mastectomy on Thursday. Come on, guys, step up. We will step up for you. And our prayers go out to you, your sister, and your family, Chrissy. The 49ers need to win for Chrissy's sister. We got you, man. We got you.
San Francisco.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
The last thing that I wanted to bring attention to is yesterday, our beautiful Miss Debbie went and seen the 49ers off when they left to head to LA.
Mm-hmm.
Christy put this out here earlier in the show and said she saw the video and said that she's one loyal woman to the 49ers. Miss Debbie, we all appreciate you and love you for what you do.
Absolutely.
And to that Rams fan who was hideous to you and had the horrible things to say to you about being, like the only one and, all this stuff that nobody else cared. just like Fair told you, they were probably all gone already to LA because they had a lot of 49er events that were going on. They had the invasion going on, then they had the road rush. They had all these other things going on. I'm sorry that the Rams fan made you cry and made you feel embarrassed, but I wanted you to know, which is why I wanted to wait to do that on the show so that other people would be on here, and so I wanted to do it on the air. We all love you and we respect you for every single solitary thing that you do for the 49ers. You are the 49er queen and everyone knows it. And that heartless Rams fan who said that, don't worry. We'll handle business on the field today and make sure that we call his ass out after we get this win today, 31 to 27.
It ain't calling him out. I need to know what he looked like, because when I see him, it's on site.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Because you don't get to disrespect one of mine and
right.
that just slides. So I just need to know what homie looked like, because when I see him, it's on site.
Yeah, it was really bad and uncalled for, and we don't put up with that. And so I just wanted you to know that we all love you and we're not gonna just let that go like that.
100%. Even Marketing Pro, who's a diehard Ram fan,
right?
You gotta ignore negative people.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I told Miss Debbie. You gotta ignore them. That's what you do. You don't give them any power. All right, you don't give them any power. That doesn't mean that they're right. They have the right to disrespect you.
Correct.
Don't give them any more power.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, for the 49er faithful that didn't go, shame on you.
Right.
That's it. I'm gonna leave it at
that.
that.
Which is what I put on Twitter yesterday.
About us.
You know, the ones that were there that could go, that didn't.
So if you didn't go and send your team off, and you usually do,
mm-hmm.
you know, and you were available to do that, shame on you. You know, but listen, Miss Debbie, didn't you get your tweet liked by John Lynch? Isn't that?
Did.
It's
mm-hmm.
way more rewarding than anything that any one of us has ever.
Absolutely.
So you stay on top. You keep your heads up. You keep your spirit high, and you keep doing what you're doing, regardless of how you were feeling. You keep persevering. You keep pushing on. You are the 49ers, and we're here because of you.
Amen. Right? That's right,
guys. This is Sizzl'N Sunday. We're gonna jump up out of here. All right, the game's coming on in about 30 something minutes, guys. We got a great game. 49ers, Rams, score predictions. Mose, Peachy, I'll do mine. We'll get up out of here.
27-17 Niners.
27-17 Niners, like it.
I like that. I had just done mine, but it's 31-27 49ers.
31-27 49ers. I'm going 31-21 49ers.
I like it.
Defense gets a touchdown. I even put that icing on the cake. Let's go. Guys, we love y'all. Thank y'all so much for joining Sizzl'N Sunday, man. Listen, last week, this time, right now, that's when the hack happened.
Yeah.
Just want to, so it's been a rough week. It's still rough for me. I'm still going through stuff. I'm still locked out of stuff, like literally. But we're here. We're persevering. And can I just read y'all? Let me see if I still have it. Just give me a second to find it. I just want to read y'all what resonated in my spirit today. All right. So stand by me. I got my Bible app here.
Oh, he going to the word. I thought you was pulling up a comment. You going to the word?
I got to go to the word because
hallelujah.
This is what stood, I testified in church this morning, and usually I hold stuff in. I don't really let stuff out. And then I realized that I grew up in a testimonial type of church where you let the world know what you've been going through.
That's right.
So people can pray for you.
Good or bad. Absolutely.
Good or bad.
Right.
And God just, he that's a sign of reverence. You know what I'm saying? Sign of humility, sign of like, yeah. And so there was a word that was just for me today. And I just want to read the scripture, just one part of the scripture, if you guys don't mind. And it says, where is it? Here it is. All right. So if you guys are familiar with the book of Isaiah, all right, Isaiah 40 and 31, it says, "But those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength.
Mm.
They shall mount up with wings like eagles. And we ain't talking about them birds in Philly. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with this text or this scripture, I encourage you to read the book of Isaiah, chapter 40. Read the whole thing. You can get all the context from it. But when they said that those who wait upon the Lord, and I realized, like, after I gave that message, when the preacher came up and just and said that scripture after I testified, it reminded me that it's not about me. Right?
Oh, you preaching.
So God reminded me that I have a ministry, I have a calling, and it's ministry. And it's always about blessing others. It's not about me. And I think I might have lost focus on that. Trying to build numbers, trying to be famous, trying to be that. I tell you what, shame on me. I apologize. And God, I hear you. That's it. That's it. That's it. I receive it. I don't want to break down crying again.
Too late. I'm already there, brother. I'm already there, brother.
Wow.
That's it. I know this is not the show, but I'm sorry we get emotional because I didn't know he was gonna give me that scripture, yo. I didn't.
That scripture, like, I know that scripture by heart so much because it's such a amazing scripture.
If you guys don't get a chance, just go read Isaiah 40 and 31. If you want to read the whole book, you can. But just take it and then apply it to you. I'm applying it to me. I'm going through this. They're going through this because I'm going through this. And you're going through this because I'm going through this. So if I'm going through it and we're going through it, let's just get on the same page and just understand this. And if y'all want to have a private conversation, I'm no preacher. That's not me. All I do is spread the God in me. That's it. If y'all want to talk about it private, we could do it on a Zoom. We could do it wherever. But that word right there, yo. So I love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. We're gonna be doing an overreaction show. Hopefully, it's a happy one. We haven't been happy for a minute. We need a celebration. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate you.